Good morning, everybody. Give me a second, get a little coffee, and we will be ready to move on. Hey, everybody. Good morning. So I am getting there. We are getting there. Let's just start with the ES and what we're seeing here, and let's get rid of this. I think a lot of people yesterday expected Powell to say something. They had these stupid rumors floating around. Understand a lot of these rumors are started by hedge funds, and they just pay these guys. And I know you don't want to hear it, that your best buddy that you follow online, or the best account, that they get paid to put out these rumors, but they get paid to put out these rumors. About oh, Powell's going to resign, and you have to watch today. They do stuff like that to keep the market down. But anyway, if you take a look at this, and what I want to do here is, what I'm going to do, hold on one second. Let's do it this way. Is that the active one? Give me one second. I think I have pre-market somewhere set up here. Let's do pre-market, and let's start using that one so that I got it all set up on the same thing. And then we'll go get to there. What do you got for me, John? What do you got for me this morning? What do you got, tough guy? 8:30. Cool. All right. Let me shut this. So if there's a reverb or anything, please let me know. I've got the windows open because there's a really cool storm coming in, and I like storms. So I like listening to them. But if there's too much reverb or anything, just let me know, and I'll fix it. I'll just shut the windows and everything. I think if it's too hard to hear. But it's really one cool thing about Miami is like the storms. They're amazing. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. I mean, it's very clear where you're at, right? What I see a lot of are liquidity grabs, like a lot of them. And, you keep waiting for these breakdown, mans, and they're not happening. It's like you think, oh, no, it's the rallies. No, man, it's the breakdowns. You can't break down. You're trying your butt off to break down, but you just can't. And I would strongly suggest that you watch that today. Now, I don't know about that particular level, but this, if I could just get that up there just a little more. I don't know why sometimes you struggle with it, but you can see how that ties into that Wednesday level. All right, right into that 1 o'clock area, right? What happened there? Okay. So you probably want to pay attention to that. That's probably an area, and you can go back there and look at what happened Wednesday, May 21st at 1 o'clock. But if you know, you know. We're not going to review that. And you can see how we are turning that level into resistance. So when we flip that level from Wednesday on May 21st, which you guys can look up on what happened Wednesday, May 21st. But if you actually pay attention, you already know. So watch that level like a hawk. That's what I would do. That's where I would start. It's pretty obvious today. Really, really obvious if you think about it. And I'm not going to spend an inordinate amount of time on it. What I would say to you about this kind of stuff is once you see these kinds of levels, it's really hard to think that you don't need to pay attention to bond auctions, right? People would say that like it's almost ridiculous to not pay attention to bond auctions. It's almost like you're doing it yourself. It's like, I don't know why you don't love yourself, right? I can't help you. But you definitely want to watch those levels. And you can see it down here as well, but these are just straight out liquidity grabs. They just are. And you can see them over and over again. So, and just, watch where you were Thursday, but once it's on and it's over, it's on. And what I always look for this kind of stuff, and what I'm going to do is just, I can drop this here, but it doesn't matter. You're not getting there today. I think too many people are afraid they're going to be out of the market right now. I think that's really what you're saying. What I would do is I would use the weakness to buy. I would use really weak hands and I'd start buying. That's what I would do, but you should do what you're comfortable with. But I would wait for the dips. They're presenting so many opportunities for people that know how to use oscillators and things like that. It's crazy. Yesterday, it was really, really easy. When you go back and you look at it, it's almost frustrating how easy it was. Let's go through the SPY. Like sometimes things are so easy that you look at them and just go, it can't be that simple. But you see all these liquidity grabs? It's not one area. It's over and over again. Sometimes they get a little goofy, right? And they get a little nuts. You can say it, but they're ripping them down and then they're buying. Rip, 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 rip. So when it rips down today, and it will, because we'll get a mean tweet or hear about how he's not a taco because he decided to tell us that Friday, the end of the world was nigh with China and an attack was imminent and everything else. And then we're gonna pause tariffs on some goods in China till August 31st. Okay. So, you're going to get something else because someone's going to say something, and then we're going to do something else to shake it up. And it's just going to keep happening over and over and over again. And I do think he needs to reset the headlines for this big, beautiful bill. The amount of savings that he was supposed to get from Doge, he didn't get anywhere near that. Like, it's not even close to what he was supposed to get. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because that means that he's going to have to do something else. You can just screenshot that. He's going to have to do something else to drive that. And I'm wondering if he's going to go the other way. See, like if you have a problem, like, let me just show you this real quick so you can kind of get how you should be viewing this and how you should be thinking about this. If your spending is that, hold on. Oh boy, it's too early for this. Hold on. There he goes again, trying to use them computers. Hold on, those internets. All right, so here you are, and they're spending, right? Well, the only way to get rid of interest payments is two things. You either decrease the spending, right? Or you increase your revenue. I personally think that he's realizing that you are not going to be able, this is where my head is with it. I think he's starting to realize that I can't do entitlements. I can't touch that. Doge didn't cut back what we thought we were going to cut back. We have one thing that we can do. We can drive growth. We can drive growth and we can increase the GDP to pay down this debt. That's what I think he's doing. And I'll tell you why I think you're going that way. Because if you look at stuff like URA and the nuclear stuff that's moving today, that you know why that's all moving? Because of his bill like a week ago, where he said, hey, it was taking these people years to get something done, and now it's taking weeks. I think he's going to drive growth and increase productivity through increasing power. And by doing that, you're going to spur GDP. why do you care about this? Because, and Steven's going to love this, but you need to be buying nuclear names. You need to be looking at stuff like nukes. You need to be looking at stuff like, the CEG news today. Just read it. You don't have to trade that name, but you really want to pay attention to what's going on out there. You're going to flip from austerity, which has never been his thing. Like, no one's ever looked at Trump and said, oh boy, he's really austere, austere. He's really frugal with his money. Mar-a-Lago, he's got freaking gold on the ceilings. If you've ever actually been in there, it's anyway. So but the thing about it is, no one's ever looked at him and said, wow, he really downplays, and he really doesn't, he really downplays that. I mean, Trump Tower, for God's sake, is gold. So if you think about that, there's only one way to get out of your spending. Like, none of us have a spending problem, right? You have an income problem. If you made more income, you can buy whatever the heck you want. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to ramp GDP, because if you look at the moves in GDP over the past 30 days, like if you look at the Atlanta Fed, and I went through some of this, I think, in the Saturday video, or maybe I just did it in the private video. But here, I'll show you. I think I did it in this. Hold on. I think I did it in the Saturday video. Maybe I didn't. No, I don't think I did. Here, this is public. If I didn't, I didn't. But I just want to show you this. Why I'm thinking about it. I know it should be pre-market. We're getting there. I'll bring it home and take questions. But you see this? This is the same thing they told you to be scared of. Remember this in March? Back here, February, it was negative 4%. GDP, since personal income came out, they went from like 2.8 to 3.8% GDP is the estimate now. Now, you have some moron out there today. I forget what moron it is. Hold on, let me find out which one it is. That's actually saying that they're going to take down. OECD slashes global forecast for second time this year, citing impact of Trump tariffs. So you have these dichotomies out there right now. And I love the dichotomies and the uncertainty, because they're wrong. He's going to ramp the GDP up. That's what he's going to do. And you can start seeing it happen. So when you dived into this move, how did it happen? Social Security increases. Right? So he's going to move the needle the way that he needs to move the needle. And it's going to be through GDP. And that also means that you're not going to wind up doing what? Getting any rate cuts. You're not getting a rate cut. It's not happening. It's just not. But that also means that your gold trades might go higher. All right, let me take questions, because I could go on and on today. I have so much crap in my head right now. Good morning from Chicago. Good morning from Miami. I like energy a lot today. This place really is awesome. Like, could you imagine being at some other pre-market place? Like right now, like, why bother? I don't even understand. Why don't you love yourself? All right, super simple, man. Alan, and I posted a lot of this in the room already this morning when you guys started trading this thing at like 6. Well, they started trading it at like 6. I didn't. But you got to watch the VWAP. If you can't get over VWAP from the moment that they bought, that means the average person's there and they can't get out of the way. And that's what I would focus on. That would be that's my first demarcation line on anything like that. If the average person that bought from that time is down, I don't want to be in it yet. But VST, if I go and take a look at VST, oh, look, I have these little banners. Here we go. Here you go. Good morning. Yay. I had this great quote. I got to find it. It was just so good. All right. It wasn't good morning. It was something else. This is a good one too. But I don't know if I have the whole quote here or not. Do I have the whole thing there? No, that's not what I want though. I got to turn. Oh, I can do double quote. I can do double banners. Oh, you guys are in trouble. Here they go. No, that's not it. Hold on. Is this it? That's it. Let's get rid of this. I will get rid of this. This quote's awesome. There it is. All right. VST, you want to watch this 176, and you want to get flipped through that, Alan, and then go from there. But if I can't get over those, I don't want to get involved. What's up, Mitch? Where's John? He's always early. You guys are beating John this morning. The CEG we went over, I don't know. You're going to get your pullback. I'm wondering if you just got it. The only one that I think that you might get a pullback in is OKLL. That's the only one. I didn't watch this. There was a bunch of people that kept asking me about this, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I don't want to trade names this thin after hours. What I would do with this is I'd watch the first 15-minute bar. And if you can get over that, then you would be doing the 15-minute thingy. And I don't see that you can get over that yet. So I tend to mark these off. It's super simple how I do these things. And I do quite well with them after hours and pre-market, but it's really simple. I just want to know where everybody is. Like, where does everybody own it? And what happens if I get there? See how like I held that area? It tells me I've got buyers. You have buyers there that want to be in this, but you're going to have to watch this off the open and kind of go from there. I don't know that you chase that, Mitch. You're going to really want to watch some of these names. Yep. So this to me looks excellent. What do you got for me? And go from there. Here, I'll show you this. See, when you can't see me, you can't see my facial expressions, but we're getting there. The new monitors just came. So I'm going to set them up. I got all these like low blue light monitors. They were actually super cheap. They're actually cheaper than the ones that I have right now, but they're going to be better. I have these curved monitors I spent a fortune for, and I hate them. Like I spent a lot of money on these monitors, and man, I can't stand them. Here we are, 114, 124, and you can see that level like right in there, right? You got to watch the top of that control bar, man. I can't buy those. I got to get over that. What else you got for us? CRWD, I did a trade and I blew it out. Till I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about this. No, you can't go near that. I can't go near that. Like rejection, reversal, can't get over the open, gaps me up. So I feel good and warm and fuzzy about myself. And it gaps me like, you say it? Like, look where they stopped you. No, I wouldn't feel good about myself. Now this, I feel good about myself. You can already see it. I'm a little teapot, short and stout, boom. And then you're breaking out right there. See it? Here's your cup. Here's your handle. So let's go look at that on a weekly. What else you got going? Ugh. I hate companies like this. God, why do you have to be so gross? I probably am not doing this unless you're flipping like something really, really major, going back for like years and years and years. And you kind of are, aren't you? But you flipped it 3 times and you did nothing with it. Let's take a look at something else. There it is. So there is the volume from 2025 on a volume profile. You need to be super careful there because you try to get over and you rejected and you're sitting right there. So watch that vol profile. What you'd really want is a close over it on a weekly chart. And then after it closes over it on a weekly chart, then drill into the daily. That's what I would do with it if I wanted to be in that name. Hope that helps, Jay. Go Birds. NRG, I'll do. I mean, I'll do NRG. The Groupon I was in, I actually got out of this, and enormous mistake. But I never would have held that long. We got in on this somewhere in here, and we did very well with it. But I never would have held this. I never would have held from 13 to 20. I think we got out at 18. We got out at 18 3/4. I think we got in like cheap. We did real well with it, but I never would have held through this or this to get this. what I would say to you is I would watch these after the day after. Any trade like that the day after. I can't go near that now. But earnings were really, really good last time. And that was a reversal. And this is what gets me about stocks. Like, people think they don't have to pay attention to the fundamentals. You do. Not knowing that this was coming out with earnings was a huge mistake on my part. Because if I knew that, that would have been one I would have played. I would have played on, because you hardly were up after this earnings. Like, you kept running, but then you just kind of went sideways. They wanted to get out ahead of it. You couldn't break through this level. The 20s were probably super cheap on that, like insanely cheap. You probably didn't even have to go that high. You probably could have gone to like the 18s and had some exposure to that and done quite well with it. So, but we'll see. I like that. I can't buy that now, but that's clearly back. Yeah, I mean, why does he do that though? Jonah, like, why does JP Morgan do what he does? Why does Jamie Dimon use his platform the way that he does? Right? I mean, do you remember, was it this? It wasn't earnings, it was something else. I think it might have been like in here. No, it was recently. It was 25, wasn't it? Where he said, my stock's so expensive. I don't know why people were buying JP Morgan stock. He like said something like that, crazy like that. I was like, why would he say that? And then the stock drops and plummets, and then they come out and they issue a buyback. I mean, why do you think he would say that? Now, some of the stuff he said he believes in. I'm not saying that, but the larger issue about what he said was, what I think is really important is that the whole part of it. And what's the whole part of it? Are we going to lose our military? We're not losing our military. The U.S. is not losing their military. It's not happening. So, there's more to that. But if you lose your military, then you're going to lose your. See, the thing about what people don't understand is that, like, to lose reserve status, you almost have to lose your military. And the idea of that is kind of laughable right now, for now. But could it happen? Yeah, it could. Remember, I think it was, I forget who it was. They were 50%. Was it the UK? They were 50% at one point, and now they're 7. So could it happen? Yeah, absolutely, it could happen. Is it going to happen? I don't think it happens in our lifetime, but could it happen? Sure, absolutely. Anything can happen, man. I haven't seen that, but someone had me use Claude the other day. I like it. I find I'm still trying to figure it out, right? Like, I'm not like you guys. Well, a lot of you guys are younger than me, but I'm still trying to figure it out. What I noticed is that if I use, and maybe this is what it does, if I use the same one, it gets better. And I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to do, right? And you guys are going to be like, yeah, boomer. So, like, if I use it for a task, it gets better at that task. I've noticed that. So I've just been using ChatGPT, and I like it. The Claude thing was super interesting, but I think the real struggle here for any of these things is how does this affect search? And I don't know, man. Like, I just want them to spin off YouTube so I can buy it, but they're not going to. I mean, YouTube is just, God, what a money machine. SE looks amazing. MELI looks amazing. All that's going to happen there, candidly, is their buying power is going to increase. You have to understand, when the dollar drops, so when the dollar drops, the other currencies go up. Those countries have more buying power. So the same thing with MELI. Like, they just have more buying power. So, like, as the dollar drops, right? As the dollar drops, other countries' buying power goes up. That's why people in the US stop traveling. That's why when the dollar drops, like it's dropping, like right now, I was posting articles last night on housing in Florida, and why it's starting to, like, why supply is starting to go up in Florida, which is the hottest market out there right now, right? Or why people aren't renting houses in the Hamptons. People are like, why are you posting this stuff? Because they're holding back their savings. Why? Because the dollar is dropping in value. Like, you have to understand that if you own the dollar and you're looking at it versus other currencies, since January, you're down 10%. So your currency on what you used to be able to buy is 10% less in another country. Like, that's a lot. So when you start to see things like SE and you overlay them from like January, you'll note that this kind of stuff's up from there, right? Like, that's not rocket science as to why you're up from those levels. A lot of it has to do with the dollar. So any of these places like SE or Melly, anything like that, they're just going to kill it because the exchange rate. They also make money off the exchange rate, but we don't have time to get into all that. CLBR. Yep, please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. I don't know, man. Where were you 5 days ago? What are you doing to me? What am I going to do with that now? How do you play that? I don't know. Hopefully, I hope you're in it, man. I hope you're in it already. I really do. I hope you're killing it, but I can't go near that. I can't. You want to tell me the story? If you want to tell me the story, maybe I can do more and tell you what to watch, but I don't know the story, buddy. Pre-market, you're getting smoked. So yeah, if you want to tell me the story, I can tell you that. Other than that, there's some levels that I would watch that I think are important, but I don't know the story, my friend. Yeah, Meta's going to kill it. You saw it yesterday. I'm really surprised Meta's not up more. Like, Meta has the ecosystem and they're on the right place. He's just off on the way that he's going about it. Like, oh, everyone's going to wear these glasses. Bro, you know what I'm not wearing? Your glasses. But he's going to find a way in. And no one's going to wear those glasses. You might wear them when they're contacts and people don't know that you're wearing them. That's when it gets goofy. But when they become like contacts or something like that, but no one's going to walk around with those glasses. I mean, they're not as bad as vision thing, but like, it's kind of creepy. Like, oh, I'm going to wear these glasses and then I can tell everything about you. Like, okay, dude. It puts the lotion in the bucket. Like, no one's walking around with those things. That's not going to happen. So, but he's going to figure it out. There's no doubt about it. The guy's like insanely smart. He's going to figure out how to get you to buy that product. It's so crazy how RSI works, isn't it? But it's pretty clear you're going back to highs, in my opinion, and super easy chart to read. I'm really surprised it's not up more, to be honest. And I guess Hims invented air today. I'm trying to figure out what the news is there, but good Lord. I would definitely watch that today. Really surprised by this, that it's down. Anyway. Yeah, it's great for CEG, all those companies. What's up, Goof? Yeah, they're going to use CEG. It's in the room. I'll put it all in the room. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. The only thing I know is I'll make money. There he is. Good afternoon. It's 8:30. Good morning from Houston. Good morning from Miami. I don't know. You know more than me, man. I'm just trying to get through the day. Oh, you're welcome, man. I'm having a blast. Thank you for the emails. Thanking me. I got a lot of emails, and I appreciate them. I'm having a lot of fun, guys. I'm not going to lie. Virginia Beach in the house. I went to Virginia Beach once. It's really nice. Good morning from Phoenix. Good morning from Miami. I think that there's a lot going on out there. Do I think companies like Raytheon? I think that really what you're going to see is he's going to increase GDP. So if you think about increasing GDP, like how else do you increase GDP? You do it through government spending. Like you do it through defense spending. We need a dome. Okay, that sounds good. Golden Dome, Canada, you can come in on our Golden Dome. They're all like, no, thanks, dude. We're good. We're good. We're good without your dome. But seriously, do I think so? I'm going to be blunt. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe with Doge. I'm like, they're going to slash defense spending. They're going to slash this. I think it's Booz Allen. I have to find out which one it is. I think it's Booz Allen Hamilton. Like 90% or 95% of their income is government. This is their worst quarter. Mark my words. I have to find out if it's this one or not, but this is their worst quarter. Mark my words, because they're going to go back. I'm telling you, they're going to go back on all this and they're going to start spending. The government's going to start spending, but they're going to spend it in different areas. But they're going, that's how he's going to get out of this. It's the only way out. Other than that, you're going to be the guy that's got to increase the Social Security age. And he's only got 18 months. Because after you go through the Congression, like the Congress goes through voting, that's it. No one has to pay attention to him and what he wants anymore. And he's not dumb. He knows that. So how can I get back to you? Focus. Okay. Do I think I have to swing it here? No. Do I think defense names are going higher? I think they're going a lot higher, a lot. And I think that really this is such an example of reflexivity. Like we talked about all this cost cutting and Doge, and it makes sense why Vivek got out of the way when you really look back at it now. Vivek was the smart one to get out of the way of this. But do I think that he did good? Yeah, I think he did a lot of good. I do. But the cuts are not there the way that they were supposed to be. So that leaves, how are you going to get out of it? You're going to spend. Well, what are you going to spend on that people are going to go like, yeah, America, like, yeah, go buy more bombs, go buy, get a new fighter plane, go create a golden dome. Like, yeah, that's what they're going to do. And I'm not saying it wrong or right. I'm just saying that that's what they're going to do. They're the easiest thing. The easiest things to pass is we need to defend ourselves from these people, right? Like it's older than time, man. Like it's just the way it is. But I think all defense there, one of the things that we were in the room was this EUAD. And we were in here and I got out because I saw this coming, but I never got back in, which is always the problem, right? But defense spending out there is just going to go up. There's just no way around it. It's just going to keep going higher. So 100%, I would look at those kinds of names. I personally think PLTR is the play, but that's because that's the one I'm in. What's up, Ed? Yeah, man, you need more friends. You need different friends, Jay. You need different friends, my friend. Okay. Mobland's best show on TV. The problem with Mobland is the name Mobland. Mobland's the best show on TV right now, hands down. Agreed. EQT looks great. I can't think of a better show on TV right now than Mobland. I actually am looking forward to it. What was really good, at least the first season, was Gangs of London, was really good. Yeah, I agree with that. Dodge got 20% of what they want to. Yeah. I mean, he did good. Like, I do feel that there was good done there. Like, I think when we all saw how easily they were spending money, people were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I do think there was something there. I do agree with that. But you're not going to cut your way out of this, is what I think people are realizing. I didn't know that was beauty. I might have looked at it a little bit more. Is that beauty? Is that what it is? Beauty space to me is going to be on fire. I don't think people realize this deal yet with Elf. That's where my head is. But also Alta did the undercut flim flam and then ripped. And I love those kinds of moves. I don't know enough about this. I know people were trading it in the room yesterday. PLMR, your insurance. Anything like this, like I have to look into this a little bit more, but anything like this name, anything like this name, anything like this name, I got to keep on the radar. When I do this kind of stuff, here, I'll show you it. Okay. See this right here? That's an upper channel. So people are like, oh, it's a frozen rope, it's going to break. No. When you start breaking these kinds of upper channels and you get over them, they go parabolic. Like you can make a lot of money off that move. The question with it is, does it do it or fall back down? So you have to set these up like here. Like that's the whole trade. You hit the higher high, maybe you give it an hour or two to make sure it stays over to whatever your process is. And then if it cracks, you just get out of the way and you take the hit because bonk, bonk. But when you go on those, man, they rip. They will like rip. Yep. And you got nothing but blue skies up there, but you need it to flip. And if it does, these things will go, they go parabolic. What's up, buddy? Good morning from Sarasota. What's up, man? Sarasota is so nice. That little area, what's that? St. Michael's little circle, I think that's what it's called. APLD. Yeah, this has got a lot of volume. I don't know why it's so giddy today again, but it is. Whenever someone has like a giddy day now, I just expect them to do a secondary, and they didn't. 9:03. Did you tell me it was 8:55? And I just blew it off. Give me 1 second here. Give me a second to do something. One second, guys. Sorry. Got to do this super quick. All right, thanks, guys. The golden toilet. It's funny. I'm just going to go through these super quick, guys. Sorry, I got a trade I got to do here. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. I'm having a blast. What's up, Sam? I got to get them. I don't have a choice. Like the setup's killing me. I do. I don't talk about it much because when people look at futures and options and think it's so easy, and it's not. And GEV looks great. PLTR looks great. Yeah, and now look at it, and you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of that behavior, and I think you're going to continue to see a lot of that behavior. And we'll go from there. You know, we'll see how that goes, but and All right, so I got that done. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to go a lot higher. I'm kind of annoyed on that one. YouTube is awesome. It really is. I'm going to go through these super quick because I got to jump. See if there's something here we got to go over. Massachusetts. Where in Massachusetts? Oh, you're in Tampa? Tampa's beautiful. It was either Tampa or Miami when I decided to come down here. I've been spending a lot of time down here. I do miss going up to New York a lot, though. PLTR looks great. Severance was awesome. That was really good show. It's uptown. Yeah, it was a good show. I don't like how it ended because I don't like how it ended, but it is what it is, or how the season ended, I should say. I don't know. You would have to ask your accountant. I just own it. I do own this. I'm not going to be your accountant, dude. Like you gotta ask your accountant. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to get into all that. It pays a dividend, and then you have to figure out, you know, Israel taxes. I don't know that you're paying Israel taxes. I don't know anything about that. Like you got to talk to your accountant about that. You know, I can't answer that one. Don't buy it if you think that it's going to be too complicated. That's the only thing I would say. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win.